From ambushing Becky Lynch during a training session, to blindsiding Rhea Ripley backstage and leaving fans stunned. These are Liv Morgan's savage moments ever caught on camera, and a few of them might just leave your jaw on the floor. Starting at number 10, Smackdown Debut. Back in November 2017, WWE fans witnessed the arrival of a force to be reckoned with when the Riot Squad, consisting of Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan, and of course Liv Morgan, made their SmackDown debut in spectacular fashion. The debut saw Morgan throw a table on Becky Lynch and lay out Charlotte Flair with a modified codebreaker, instantly establishing herself as someone who wouldn't be overshadowed by her teammates. In a division dominated by established stars like Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch, this was a bold statement from the newcomer. What displayed? Here was this relatively unknown performer from NXT, showing absolutely no hesitation in targeting two of the biggest stars in the women's division. The audacity, the confidence, the sheer unpredictability. Many fans were immediately drawn to Morgan's unique energy and charisma. While the Riot Squad's debut was certainly a team effort, Morgan stood out with her distinctive look and willingness to put her body on the line. This moment set the tone for what would become a career defined by bold choices and unexpected twists. The camera caught every second of this chaotic debut, from the moment the Riot Squad emerged from the crowd to the stunned expressions on the faces of the SmackDown women's locker room. Little did fans know at the time, but this was just the beginning of Morgan's journey from squad member to solo star to eventual championship glory. In retrospect, this debut perfectly foreshadowed Morgan's career trajectory, unpredictable, impactful, and absolutely captivating on camera. While she would go on to have many more memorable moments, there's something special about witnessing the birth of a star. That first moment when a performer announces their presence to the world in such emphatic fashion. Moving to our 9th wildest moment, we fast forward to 2024 and the brutal Elimination Chamber match that showcased Morgan's incredible resilience and determination. Elimination Chamber survival. Inside the unforgiving structure, Morgan endured punishment that would have broken many competitors, yet somehow managed to survive to the latter stages of the match.
Morgan, a former world champion, former Money in the Bank winner. Oh, Morgan! Who will ever forget the night she cashed in on Ronda Rousey to win the title? A code breaker into a kip-up.
What made this moment particularly striking was the visible evidence of the battle afterward. Following the grueling contest, Morgan shared a mirror selfie while wearing a crop top, proudly displaying the impressive collection of bruises that covered her torso, a testament to the physical toll the Elimination Chamber had taken on her body. The image quickly went viral on social media, with fans expressing both concern and admiration for Morgan's toughness. This wasn't just another match. This was proof of the sacrifices WWE superstars make for their craft. The contrast between Morgan's typically glamorous appearance and the raw reality of those battle scars created a powerful visual that fans couldn't stop talking about. What's particularly wild about this moment is how it blurred the lines between Morgan's in-ring persona and her real-life toughness. In an era where social media offers glimpses behind the curtain, this was Morgan essentially saying, "This is what it really takes to do what we do." The Bruises told a story that no promo or flashy move could convey, the genuine physical price of performing at the highest level. For many fans, this moment elevated their respect for Morgan, showcasing her as not just another character on TV, but as a dedicated athlete willing to put her body through extreme punishment for her career. The camera may have caught plenty of Morgan's dramatic moments in the ring, but this glimpse of the aftermath perhaps told an even more compelling story. At number 8, we have an astonishing display of resilience and revenge from the 2023 Money in the Bank event. Triple victory over Ronda Rousey. In what can only be described as a remarkable feat, Morgan managed to pin Ronda Rousey 3 times in a single night after Shayna Baszler's shocking betrayal of her long. To fully appreciate the wildness of this moment, we need to understand the context. Ronda Rousey was presented as one of the most dominant forces in WWE, an Olympic medalist and former UFC champion whose legitimacy as a fighter was unquestioned. For Morgan to pin her once would be notable. To do it 3 times in one evening was unprecedented. The match footage captured every angle of this stunning turn of events. The camera perfectly framed Morgan's determined expression, Rousey's shock, and the crowd's escalating disbelief with each successive pinfall. This wasn't just a wrestling match. This was storytelling at its finest, with every facial expression and camera angle enhancing the drama. What made this moment truly wild wasn't just the statistical achievement of pinning Rousey 3 times, but the narrative symmetry it represented. This was sweet revenge for Morgan, who had previously lost her championship to Rousey in controversial fashion. mentioned. The karma, the irony, the complete role reversal, it all played out perfectly in front of the cameras. Perhaps most impressive was Morgan's ability to capitalize on the chaos. When opportunity knocked in the form of Baszler's betrayal, Morgan didn't hesitate. She seized the moment, demonstrating the opportunistic instinct that would later define her revenge tour character. The cameras caught every calculating glance, every precise move as Morgan made WWE history. By the end of the night, Morgan had not only pinned one of WWE's most protected stars 3 times, but had also recaptured the tag team titles, making this an evening of unprecedented success that fans would talk about for years to come. Our 7th Wildest moment showcases Liv Morgan's incredible endurance and fighting spirit from the 2023 Royal Rumble match. Royal Rumble 2023 performance.
Logan Riot, Morgan. What is going on tonight? Oh my God.
Entering at the dreaded #2 position, Morgan defied all odds by surviving until the final 2 competitors, eventually facing off against Rhea Ripley in an epic confrontation. Drawing the #2 position is considered one of the worst possible outcomes in a Royal Rumble match. It means you must outlast virtually every other competitor to have any chance of winning. Yet Morgan not only survived but thrived, lasting over an hour in the match, sharing what was then the longevity record for women's Royal Rumble matches, later broken by Bayley in 2024 with 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 3 seconds. The cameras captured every moment of this Herculean effort, from the initial shock of her early entry to the mounting fatigue as the match progressed, to the final, desperate moments against Ripley. What made this performance particularly wild was how it completely redefined fans' perception of Morgan's capabilities. Previously known more for her high-flying style than her endurance, she proved she could go the distance in one of WWE's most grueling match types. Throughout the hour-plus marathon, Morgan eliminated multiple opponents and survived numerous close calls. The wildest moment came when she was temporarily blinded by Asuka's green mist, a disadvantage that would have ended most competitors' nights. Yet somehow Morgan persevered, fighting through impaired vision to continue her remarkable run. The ultimate elimination came via a Hurricane Rana from Ripley, sending Morgan over the top rope after an incredible performance. While she didn't win the match, she arguably won the night in terms of elevating her status and demonstrating her extraordinary resilience. The cameras perfectly captured the crowd's growing appreciation as Morgan outlasted superstar after superstar. This Royal Rumble performance stands as one of the most impressive Iron Woman displays in the event's history. And the fact that it came from someone many hadn't considered an endurance specialist made it all the more wild and unexpected. At number 6, we have what Liv Morgan herself described as the most surreal moment of her career. Tag team title win with Raquel Rodriguez.
Oh, and using Morgan as a battering ram. Damage control suffering a ton of damage at the hands of Liv and Raquel.
Liv Morgan was enjoying that.
In 2023, Morgan and her partner Raquel Rodriguez defeated the legendary Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch to capture the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. What made this moment particularly wild was the clash of eras it represented. Trish Stratus is widely regarded as one of the greatest female performers in WWE history, a Hall of Famer whose innovative moves helped shape women's wrestling. And here was Liv Morgan, who grew up watching Stratus, now sharing the ring with her idol and defeating her for championship gold. In interviews following the victory, Morgan explained just how meaningful this moment was. She revealed that she never imagined even wrestling Stratus, let alone beating her for a championship. Morgan had studied Stratus's moves in her formative years, incorporating elements into her own style. Now, in a full-circle moment caught on camera, the student had surpassed the master. The match footage captured the magnitude of this achievement perfectly. The camera caught Morgan's expressions of disbelief and joy as the referee counted to 3 and her dream became reality. This wasn't just another title win. This was the manifestation of a childhood fantasy that most wrestlers never get to experience. What made this moment wild wasn't just the victory itself, but the emotional weight behind it. The cameras documented not only a championship change, but a deeply personal milestone for Morgan. Fans could see in her expressions and body language that this transcended typical professional achievement. This was the kind of moment that justifies all the sacrifices made in pursuit of a wrestling career. The juxtaposition of Morgan, a representative of the current generation, standing victorious over Stratus, an icon of the past, created a powerful visual that symbolized the evolution of women's wrestling. This changing of the guard, this bridge between eras, all captured in high definition, stands as one of Morgan's wildest and most meaningful on-camera moments. Moving into our top 5, we come to a career-defining achievement from May 2024. Defeating Becky Lynch in Saudi Arabia. Liv Morgan finally conquered her longtime nemesis Becky Lynch in Saudi Arabia to capture the Women's World Championship.
Liv Morgan sending Becky into the post. And now scooting out of harm's way after the hit and run on the Women's World Championship.
This moment was years in the making. Lynch had long been Morgan's white whale, an opponent she had never been able to defeat in a meaningful singles match. Their rivalry dated back to Morgan's earliest days on the main roster, and Lynch had consistently emerged victorious in their encounters. This wasn't just another championship match. This was Morgan's opportunity to finally overcome the woman who had repeatedly blocked her path to greatness. What made this moment particularly wild was the setting, Saudi Arabia. WWE's events in the kingdom have become known for creating memorable moments, and Morgan chose this international stage to achieve what many thought impossible. The cameras captured the global significance of this victory, with fans from around the world witnessing Morgan's crowning achievement. But the wildness didn't stop there. In an astonishing display of dominance, Morgan defeated Lynch again just 2 nights later, removing any doubt that the first victory might have been a fluke. This wasn't just a breakthrough win. This was Morgan establishing a new hierarchy in the women's division, with herself at the top. The footage from both matches showcased Morgan's evolution as a performer. Gone was the underdog who had previously fallen short against Lynch. In her place stood a confident, calculating competitor who had finally figured out how to beat one of WWE's most accomplished stars. The cameras caught every nuance of this character development, the subtle changes in Morgan's demeanor, the newfound aggression in her offense, the look of satisfaction as she finally conquered her greatest rival. This moment represented the culmination of years of struggle and growth for Morgan, from squad member to singles competitor to championship, contender to finally world champion, all captured on camera for fans to witness. The ultimate validation of Morgan's journey came not just in winning the title, but in definitively defeating the opponent who had defined so much of her career. At number 4 on our countdown, we have another historic first in Morgan's career: winning WWE Women's Crown Jewel Championship. In November 2024, she defeated the formidable Nia Jax to become the inaugural WWE Women's Crown Jewel champion. Morgan's name will forever be in the record books as the inaugural champion, regardless of what happens in her career moving forward. The cameras captured this historic moment in all its glory, documenting Morgan's place in WWE history. Then there's the opponent, Nia Jax, one of the most physically imposing performers in WWE's women's division. The size differential between Morgan and Jax created a compelling visual dynamic that the cameras expertly highlighted, seeing the relatively smaller Morgan triumph over the powerhouse Jax made for unforgettable footage, showcasing Morgan's ability to overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. What added an extra layer of wildness to this moment was the method of victory. Morgan didn't just defeat Jax once, but twice in the same night, demonstrating a level of dominance that few would have predicted, and she didn't do it alone. She had assistance from Dominic Mysterio and Raquel Rodriguez, highlighting her newfound willingness to win by any means necessary as part of her villainous character arc. Shock on Jax's face as her dominance was challenged, and the crowd's reaction to this unexpected outcome. This wasn't just a wrestling match. This was the coronation of a new era for the women's division. The Crown Jewel trophy itself provided a perfect visual symbol for Morgan's evolution. As she hoisted the ornate prize, the cameras framed her in a manner befitting royalty, a far cry from her humble beginnings as the underutilized talent that fans had championed for years. This visual transformation from underdog to champion was perhaps the wildest aspect of all, representing the complete reinvention of Morgan's character and career trajectory. Breaking into our top 3 wildest moments, we arrive at what many consider Liv Morgan's breakthrough achievement: Women's Money in the Bank Win and Cash In, July 2022. In July 2022, Morgan won the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match and then stunned the wrestling world by cashing in on an injured Ronda Rousey later. The Money in the Bank concept has produced many memorable moments in WWE history, but Morgan's victory and subsequent cash-in stands as one of the most dramatic. The cameras perfectly captured the full emotional spectrum of this incredible evening, from the elation of winning the ladder match to the calculated opportunism of the cash-in to the euphoric celebration as the referee counted to 3 and Morgan's championship dreams finally came true. What made this moment particularly wild was Morgan's own reaction. In interviews afterwards, she described her thoughts in the moment as, "Holy shit, it, I've really done it," revealing the genuine emotion behind the scripted victory. This wasn't just another title change. This was the culmination of a journey that began in WWE's developmental system years earlier. The statistical rarity of this achievement adds to its wildness. Morgan became just the third woman in WWE history to successfully cash in the Money in the Bank contract on the same night she won it, joining an elite club. The historical significance was not lost on the commentary team, who emphasized the rarity of this accomplishment as the cameras captured Morgan's celebration. Perhaps most wild was the opponent Morgan chose for her cash-in. Ronda Rousey was portrayed as virtually unbeatable in WWE. For Morgan, who had long been positioned as an underdog, to pin someone of Rousey's caliber created a genuinely shocking moment that fans didn't see coming. The juxtaposition of Morgan and Rousey provided perfect visual storytelling. The cameras caught the contrast between Rousey's intense, fight-oriented persona and Morgan's more expressive, emotional character. When Morgan's music hit during Rousey's celebration, the camera work captured the perfect, "Oh my God, is this really happening?" reaction from the crowd. This moment represented not just a championship victory, but Morgan's transition from perpetual underdog to championship-level performer. The cameras documented this transformation in real time, creating footage that would define Morgan's career and be replayed in her video packages for years to come. Our runner-up for Liv Morgan's wildest moment caught on camera centers on the beginning of what became known as her Revenge Tour in 2024. Injuring Rhea Ripley and the Revenge Tour attacked Rhea Ripley backstage, causing an injury that forced Ripley to vacate the Women's World Championship. This moment was wild not just for its immediate impact, but for how it completely reinvented Morgan's character and set in motion a chain of events that would dominate WWE storytelling for months to come. The backstage camera footage captured a side of Morgan that fans had never seen before: calculating, ruthless, and utterly remorseless. What made this attack particularly shocking was the history between the two women. Ripley had betrayed Morgan in 2022, ending their tag team partnership in brutal fashion. Now, 2 years later, Morgan was finally exacting her revenge. The long-term storytelling, the patience in waiting for the perfect moment to strike, created a wildly satisfying narrative payoff that the cameras documented in all its dramatic glory. The immediate aftermath was equally wild. With Ripley injured and the championship vacant, Morgan seized the opportunity to pursue the title herself, adding a coldly opportunistic layer to her newfound villainous persona. The cameras caught every nuance of this character transformation, the subtle changes in her expressions, her body language, the calculated gleam in her eyes as she set her sights on Ripley's former prize. This moment launched what WWE officially branded as the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour, an extended storyline that would see Morgan completely reinvent herself. The visual transformation was striking, from the colorful, fan-friendly performer to a darker, more manipulative character focused solely on vengeance and championship gold. What made this entire sequence so wild was how it subverted fans' expectations of Morgan. For years, she had been positioned as an underdog, someone fans naturally wanted to root for. Now she was deliberately alienating those same fans, creating complicated emotions among the WWE audience that the cameras perfectly captured in crowd reaction shots. This wasn't just another heel turn. This was the complete reinvention of Morgan's WWE identity, all triggered by this single backstage attack. The cameras documented not just an assault, but the birth of a new era in Morgan's career, one defined by revenge, manipulation, and championship success. And finally, we arrive at number 1 on our countdown of Liv Morgan's wildest moments caught on camera: the shocking kiss with Dominic Mysterio that took place on WWE Raw in May 2024. Kissing Dominic Mysterio. After successfully defending her Women's World Championship against Becky Lynch in a brutal steel cage match, Morgan grabbed Dominic Mysterio and kissed him passionately in the middle of the ring, setting social media ablaze and creating one of the most talked about moments in recent WWE history. What made this moment particularly wild was the love triangle it established between Morgan, Dominic, and Rhea Ripley. Dominic and Ripley had been an on-screen couple for quite some time, with Ripley possessively referring to Dominic as her Dom. With Ripley sidelined due to the injury Morgan had caused, this kiss represented Morgan taking something else that belonged to her rival, making the Revenge Tour personal as well as professional. The camera work during this moment was absolutely perfect, from capturing the initial shock on Dominic's face, to the passionate embrace, to the crowd's stunned reaction. reaction. Every angle enhanced the drama of this unexpected development. The moment was so impactful that even other WWE superstars couldn't help but react, with CM Punk liking the segment on Instagram, adding another layer of legitimacy to its significance. This kiss wasn't just a random romantic angle. It was described as something no one had imagined in their wildest dreams. The unexpectedness of it all contributed greatly to its wildness. Even the most dedicated WWE fans couldn't have predicted this particular development, making it a genuine shock when it occurred. The aftermath proved equally wild, as Morgan and Dominic embraced their status as WWE's most controversial couple. They began referring to themselves as the hottest, most iconic, most dominant duo in WWE history, relishing in the negative reactions from fans. This wasn't just a one-off moment. It was the beginning of a major storyline that would define WWE programming for months to come. What makes this moment stand out above all others in Morgan's career is how perfectly it encapsulates her character evolution. From the underdog fans loved to cheer for, to a manipulative villain willing to use any tactic, including seduction, to further her goals of revenge and championship dominance. The cameras documented not just a kiss, but the complete transformation of a WWE superstar. In the world of professional wrestling, where shocking moments are deliberately crafted to create buzz and engagement, this kiss stands as a masterclass in modern sports entertainment storytelling. It combined personal drama, championship prestige, and genuine surprise in a single, unforgettable moment that will forever define Liv Morgan's career. As we conclude our countdown, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you agree with our rankings? Did we miss any moments you consider wilder than those we included? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to click on the cards on your screen for more wrestling content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.